All right, hey guys, I'm back. I've got with me today the PPC from Pepperball, and as you can see, it's a magazine-fed launcher, and it launches these little guys here. So this is an inert sample, but it's full of a powder, and the live rounds are full of what's called pava powder, which is a powderized pepper mixture, proprietary to Pepperball. And one other thing I wanted to mention, the Pepperball launchers as a family are, I believe, the only technically non-lethal option available. There are lots of less than lethal options like beanbag shotguns, tasers, things like that. But as far as I'm aware, the Pepperball is the only launcher that's considered non-lethal, meaning that not only is it unlikely to injure or kill someone, but it's virtually impossible to do so. Now, I wouldn't advise doing stupid things with it, like shooting people in the face or the eyes, but as long as you're adhering to the manufacturer's guidelines, it's considered a non-lethal option. So again, don't do stupid things like shoot the glass breakers at people or aim at their face or eyes or things like that. But as long as you're being safe and following the manufacturer's directions, this is actually a non-lethal option. I can speak from experience and say that it's quite effective. It's kind of a hybrid between CS and OC. It's an OC type material or type mixture, but it acts and behaves in a way that's similar to CS, where it's a powder rather than a true aerosol. At any rate, it's a cool, effective mixture. I'm going to show you the PPC a little bit. We'll talk about some of the features of it, and then I'm going to be doing another video where I actually fire it and run through some of the ways it works and all that good stuff. But for right now, we're just going to talk about it a little bit. It's fed on these 88-gram CO2 cartridges. You can also get a refillable air cylinder for it. I don't have one of those because I don't have an air refill method at the moment, but you can see the gauge here. All you do is you screw this cartridge in right here, making sure that this valve is shut. Make sure that's closed. You screw your cartridge in there. When you attach the buttstock, as you can see, that comes off the back end there. And I don't have this cartridge screwed all the way in just because I don't want to pierce the seal. Once the seal is pierced on here, it will stay charged on the launcher, but you can't remove the cartridge once it's pierced because it's just a membrane that gets pierced. So that's why it's not installed all the way. As you can see, there's just a bit of a swivel here, and you can kind of fold it up or what have you if you need to. It's not quite as compact as a true folding stock, but it does kind of bring the length down a little bit for you. This right here, the red button, is the pressure release. So once you've shut the bottle off, if you do have to remove a partially charged cartridge or even a mostly empty cartridge, there's still going to be some residual pressure there. So you shut this off, you can remove the bottle, and then the pressure that's stored in the launcher itself can be released by pressing this button in. And it'll do that. And then moving forward, we've got some flip-up sights. They're kind of almost like the Magpul backup sights. Just a standard set of irons. They're all metal though, which is really nice. They're built right into the launcher. You can also, and the agency that I've worked with who runs these, they actually have a red dot on the top. It's just a Picatinny rail. So you can mount a red dot or whatever sight you care to on here. I'm probably not going to mount a telescopic sight on there, but I guess you could if you really wanted to. I think you'll exceed the effective range of this with too much power of a scope, but you got options. As you can see, it's mag fed. You press the magazine release, withdraw the magazine, and you can load the balls in here by, you just pull this down. Give me a second. Pull this down, you can lock it down here, like so. Now it's locked, and you can fill the balls up here, and then you just release the spring, and it'll feed them into the launcher. They do also have sabot rounds with some fins on the back end. They are a lot more accurate. I don't have any of those here. This is just what they sent me. It was just the standard ball rounds. But they do also offer a sabot round, which is much more accurate. The ones I've seen that are actually in use, they're a different model, and forgive me, I forget the name. This is the PPC. But the other model they have actually has a hopper attachment option as well. So the agency I work with will put the hopper with the balls here, and then they'll actually have the option to disconnect the hopper and take a magazine with the sabot rounds if they need more accuracy, and use those that way. So you can run it however you like. This one does not have a hopper attachment, as you can see. It's strictly magazine fed. So you can just have different mags with different loads. They do have a window breaking load. It's a ceramic ball. They're very effective when used correctly. You have to be careful with glancing hits on especially tempered glass. You can break tempered glass with them. However, in my experience, unless you have a direct 90-degree impact, you're unlikely to actually break the window, and it'll glance off and ricochet kind of who knows where. So you have to be really cautious about that. Moving along to the launcher, you can see here's the safety. It does have a standard press button safety. That's fire, that's safe. Trigger here, they got a foregrip on here. I haven't played with it. I believe you can adjust it, but the way they have it mounted currently is just on a little Picatinny attachment there, so it's not terribly adjustable. Not really a big deal. You can just hold it. However, there's virtually no recoil. It has about the same recoil as a paintball gun, because that's in many senses what it is. I wouldn't use a paintball gun for this application, but it functions very similarly to a paintball gun. If you've used a paintball marker or a paintball gun before, you'll pretty much be able to operate this no problem. The barrel here, you can push it in, twist, and remove it if you need to clear an obstruction, or otherwise maintenance the launcher. And you just press it in and turn, and now it's locked back in place. And again, the buttstock is adjustable. It's got, if you attach it onto the end here, it's got a few different engagement points that you can see there. There's no cartridge in here, so it's not going to let me play with it as much as I would like to. But when you have the CO2 cartridge in, it's quite adjustable. And again, I don't have the cartridge installed because I don't want to pierce it yet, but I'll show you that when I do a launching video. So right there, and you can read the pressure gauge to kind of keep an eye on how much pressure you have left and what's functional. It will launch down to a fairly low pressure. However, the cartridge will only last for, this one I think it says it's about 100 to 150 shots. They have larger cartridges. They have a whip adapter where you can connect it to like a belt mounted air tank or something like that. There's lots of options. It's very modular and very reconfigurable. It's a really neat launcher. I'm really excited to go out and shoot this. I'm also going to talk a little bit about their Pepperball Blast in a different video, so look for that coming out here shortly. But it's very well made. It's all metal construction, very little plastic other than the polymer pieces like the grip sections and I think the trigger. But yeah, it's a very easy system to use, especially if you have any familiarity with paintball markers. This is the bore snake that comes with it. It's not quite as robust as a traditional firearm bore snake, but it doesn't need to be. So you can, like I showed, you can remove the barrel, run this through it, and clean it out. So if you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments. Otherwise, I will be doing a launching video of this shortly. Take a look out for that, and let me know if you have any thoughts or any comments or anything you want to see in particular when I do launch this. It's like I say, it's a really neat product. I'm excited to go out and actually give it a test run. All right, you guys take care. Stay safe.